I want to tell you that Pan-Africanism is not going to save Africa. Pan-Africanism is not going to do squat for Africa. I'm letting you know now. John Magufuli in May of 2020, John Magufuli said, oh, all the testing kits that he received were bad. He said all the testing were fake. All the tests were fake. This is what John Magufuli said. The president of Tanzania, he came out, he said, we tested it on pawpaw, we tested it on goats, it was all fake. After he said that, John Magufuli came under attack from the Africa CDC. Africa CDC, right? The Cameroonian leader of the Africa CDC, the Cameroonian head of the director of Africa CDC, he attacked John Magufuli. He said, oh, you know, he turned against and this and that. So when he did this, he called him a liar. He said John Magufuli was a liar. I reject the claims that, you know, these test kits are fake, etc. So July 2020, John Magufuli refused to close his economy. He refused to close his economy. What happened after he refused to close his economy? The same thing that happened to Burundi, the same thing that happened to Madagascar happened to John Magufuli. The president of Burundi he had a heart attack 1 month after he challenged him. John Magufuli, he's in a coma now. He's in a coma. John Magufuli is in a coma. You understand what I'm trying to tell y'all? So, Africa right now, in the present, we already talked about the past in this lecture. Now we're talking about the present. Africa is in serious shape. Really bad shape. Why are all these people being made directors? Why are all these Negroes, these Africans being made directors of organizations that are not in the interest of Africa? Why are these Negroes being made directors and so of these organizations? African people today, it is more likely for an African to betray his own race, his own people, his own family. It is more and more likely for an African to betray his people, his entire race, for power, for money, than a Eurasian to betray his race, his people for money. It is not possible for a Eurasian to betray his race for money, for titles, for nothing. They will never do that. But an African will betray his people for money, for a title, for advancement. You understand? This is kind of like Thomas Sankara and Blaise Compaoré. This is like what you call it, Patrice Lumumba and Mobutu Sese Seko. This is the same old story. One African betraying another African for power, for advancement. Charles Taylor, Samuel Doe. African people, this is what we do. When we want to get ahead, we betray our people. When we want wealth, when we want advancement, we betray. So this was how Hannibal was defeated. Africa's present right now, we have 55 countries, 55 territories or corporations. What would you call it? Corporations. 55 corporations, Western corporations. We have 55 Western corporations. Kenya, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Nigeria. All these are corporations, Western corporations. All these are Western corporations. All these names that you guys have, it's not your true name. You calling yourself a Nigerian, you calling yourself an Ethiopian, you're calling yourself this and that. That's not your true name. Your true name is African. That is your true name. Your true name is African. African, whatever. That's your true name. So in the present, this is why our people have lost their warrior spirit. This is why our people have lost the ability to fight, to protect and defend their land. This is why Africans are cowards. This is why Africans are lazy. because we don't identify with the name that gives us power. We identify with the fragmented names, the names that take away our power, our warrior nature. The name that doesn't identify our warrior nature, that's the name we enjoy calling ourselves. I'm a Ghanaian, I'm a Togolese, I'm a Malian, I'm a Burkinabe, I'm a this and that. Those names are all weakness compared to being an African. Being an African means warrior, means powerful warrior, great army. Being a Burkinabe, being someone from Guinea, it means nothing. That's why we are weak. Because you walking around calling yourself a Guinean, a Togolese, or Beninois, or this and that, it means weakness. That's what it means. It means weakness. Okay? So, strength is in the word Africa. Strength is in the word African. That's where power is. That's where power resides. So those of us in the present, Africa's present right now, let me tell you what's happening on your continent. Those of you who don't know what's happening on your continent, let me tell you what's happening on your continent. So what I'm trying to tell you, right, Africans out there, basically, this is not new. None of this stuff I'm telling you should be surprise to you. You identifying yourself as a Ghanaian, you identifying yourself as a Nigerian, you identifying yourself as a Togolese, a Beninois, all these things, that's not your title. That's not who you are. The oldest referencing of who you are as a person, as who you were known as, the oldest reference was African. That is the oldest reference. The oldest reference means warrior. You see, this is why Africans are weak today, right? This is why so many Africans are weak. This is why so many Africans are like vulnerable and weak and you know, kind of like we don't have the strength that our ancestors had, right? To build a great army. Why? Because we choose lesser titles. Being an African is greater than being a Ghanaian. Being an African is greater than being a Togolese. Because African means great army. Warrior in the great army. So, I don't know what Ghana means. I don't know what Togo means. I don't know what Nigeria means. But I know what African means. African means great army. Great army. Warrior in the great army. If you call yourself an African, it means warrior. The title of the name African means warrior. It means, if you don't like it, so be it. The African Union, if you look at all the sponsor of the African Union, you look at the sponsor of Africa CDC, you look at the sponsor of Africa WHO, you look at the sponsor of all these things on your continent, you're done for. We will never be free from these people unless we change the strategy. We will never be free. Africa will not be free. It's not, none of this stuff. Man, these people have money. You think you got more money than China and the Gates? You think you got more money than them? You don't. You don't have more money than China. You don't have more money than the Gates. You don't have more money than all these other sponsors, Harvard Institute, all these other sponsors of the Africa CDC. Even the Japanese government is sponsoring Africa CDC. Are you kidding me? African people, we ignore all the signs. Before the Romans came, right, when the Romans were building their army, African people saw the signs of Rome, but they didn't care. When the Greeks were building their army, Africans saw the signs. They didn't care. When the Arabs were building their army, Africans saw the sign. They didn't care. And when the British people were coming and establishing, the Portuguese, the Germans were building, Africans saw the sign. Africans did not care. In 2020, you've seen the sign, and you still don't care. But guess what? We're all going to pay the price, myself included. I'll be part of the people, but at least I will leave this earth with knowledge of self. I will leave this earth knowing why I left the earth. But some of y'all won't even know why you leave the earth. When you get to the ancestors are going to be like, do you know why you died? Do you know why you were killed? You're like, no, I don't know. I was watching the Barcelona game and suddenly, I had a heart attack and I died. I was, listening to Burna Boy and I don't know what happened, And this is going to be what you tell your ancestors when you get to the afterlife. And this is just straight up truth. I'm not going to babysit anyone. I'm not going to baby anyone. This is coming for all of us. You need something greater than Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is just an ideology. It's an economic ideology. You need an ideology that focuses on soul, intelligence, and science. Not an ideology. You need a blueprint, an entire blueprint. Soul, intelligence, and science. 360 dimensions of understanding yourself, your past, present, and future. You need that. You need to know yourself, know your enemy, know your environment. You need to know these things. And the organic African paradigm is the only way you're going to know it. So